Hi, friends, and welcome to another episode of Techy Tip Tuesday. Today, we're going to be talking about why you should buy or not buy additional domain names in addition to the one you use for your business website. This is actually a question from Olga from Beaverton Neurofeedback. So, thank you, Olga, for the question. Happy to answer it for you today. So we're going to go into the pros, the cons, and all the things regarding this. I will say that this strategy can be kind of a cool thing in that it's kind of like virtual real estate, domain names, websites. You can make these things super valuable, but on the other hand, if you don't use them and you're just buying a ton of them, then ultimately it's not really a great investment. When domain names were really cheap, they used to be about $7 or $8 for a year. I used to own probably like 30 or 40. I'd have ideas, I would want variations, just different things. So I definitely went all out, and now currently they're about $13 to $15 per year. So about double what they used to be. So I am a lot more selective as to the domains that I have now and what I'm willing to hold on to and pay for. If I have an idea and I think I'm going to use one, I'll still buy one. But renewing it, I'm a lot more skeptical or kind of, I put more thought into it on whether or not I should renew or not. So let's go ahead and get into this today. Um, owning multiple domain names for Olga, they suggested that she buy, I don't want to say what it is just in case she does want to buy it. There's people that will, go buy them and try to resell them for even more money. I think the one that GoDaddy is recommending that she buy is $1,000. And it's somebody that used to be in business, no longer is in business. Obviously, they let it go. They might have done SEO work on it. So it's a little more valuable. And for what it is, like if you have a domain that is, really cool or straightforward, like buyacar.com or, like something you might actually search for or, buy a car, Portland, Oregon, or something like that. There's certain domain names that aren't going to be around or they're going to be taken and they're going to be more valuable. And I have heard of people paying up to $5,000 for a domain name if they really want it. So they can be valuable, especially if you do SEO work on them. But if you already have a domain name, you might be thinking, okay, do I need all the variations like the .com, the .net, um, .co? They want you to buy all the add-ons. And while I've heard people do that, like, oh, this is my website. I don't want anybody to own another variation of my website. The odds of people wanting to do that are pretty low. I've never personally had a conflict with that at all in the past, especially if you already own all, like the day we live in, having the social media channels connected and relevant. So for example, clickers to clients, and spelt the way that I spelt it. I used to own clickers TO clients. I used to own clickers into clients. Um, I used to own like a lot of variations, and part of that was I hadn't made up my mind yet, like what was gonna stick, and I really liked the clickers number 2 clients. So that is all I currently own, I believe. Um, yeah, I think that's all I own. It's kind of hard to. I think I was gonna do something with into clients at one point, so but I've been changing my strategy on things that I'm doing and what I'm purchasing. Um, so yeah, so I would personally just recommend first tip is, only buy what you need. Get the .com if you can. And if you can't, then maybe buy another variation. I've bought in .biz commonly, especially if it's business related. So like I have 9to thrive.biz because I couldn't get the .com. And that's the name of my software and white label for Go High Level. So that makes sense. And I'm okay having the .biz. It costs me about double every year for the domain purchase cost. I was going to say hosting, but it's not actually hosting. But anyways, you have that domain. I think it's around $30 a year. So that's fine. So yeah, so that's my opinion on that part of it. And let's say, I get offered, I really wanted something like, um, trying to think of a good one, but something really relevant to clickers to clients, but maybe like broader. So, so maybe you've got, I'm gonna stick with Oregon just because I live in Oregon and it's a little bit easier. But if you have, OregonCars.com, maybe you have like the best dealership ever, or like Portland Cars or Hybrid Cars of Portland. Let's say you have that, or of Oregon. Something a little more niche. And then you get an offer from GoDaddy for hybridcars.com, like something that it's like, ooh, that could be like a national thing, not just a state thing, right? And the reasons to buy that could be if you're going to build that website out, it might have SEO on it. You could have that check to see how valuable that domain is, if it has backlinks done on it. And then you could recreate a website for that domain and then have that domain point to your existing domain, like as a backlink that's really powerful. Or you could use it as a redirect. So, if you're out and about and people, you don't want to tell people by, do hybridcarsofportland.com, you can just say, oh, go to hybrid cars. There you go. Something shorter, because the shorter the URL, also a little bit more valuable, right? Because it's easier. So that could be a couple different benefits there. But if you're just going to buy it just to sit on it and just be like, I own this domain, that's really not going to help you at all. So even though you're spending, let's say, $1,000, $5,000, $10,000 on a domain, it ultimately depends on what you're going to do with that domain. So that's really, I think, going to answer Olga's question of what the situation that she has right now. And hopefully that answers your questions for the most part there. I also had another series of some questions or things to go over. So here is 8 other like strategic benefits for having a different, let me move my try and look at the camera as much as I can. Some key advantages as far as owning more domains related to your existing domain. So another benefit, number one, is to protect your brand. So it would prevent competitors from getting similar domains or trying to mislead other customers. Um, Protecting your brand's reputation. So I kind of don't feel like that's super common, but I could see that. It could protect your brand. Number two, expand online reach. So other extensions, like we mentioned, .net, .co, .org. Again, you can. I I don't know that there's a huge benefit these days, especially with QR codes. You could literally just have somebody scan a QR code and then they don't even need to know how to spell your domain name or need to know what it ends with. Okay, number three, support marketing campaigns. This I like to get an extra domain for your productname.com or your coursename.com. I have seen this done and I love it. So like when I bought different courses from different people, I really like it when they have a specific URL. It's kind of makes it fun, more memorable, and easier to promote. Completely agree with you, ChatGPT. And then descriptive domains for landing pages. That can also be, and I have used that before. I currently own SherlockSearchReport.com because I was using that as a freebie at one time. So that can help and kind of makes it a fun, more interesting thing that people might want to click on. And then number 4, to improve your SEO, it can redirect related domains to your main website to consolidate traffic and increase visibility. Secure keyword-rich domains related to your industry to improve rankings for specific searches. So this is a common thing done with SEO people for your industry, location.com. This has been done many, many times. Is it a need anymore? Honestly, I don't think so. I've personally, when I do SEO for my clients, I more suggest we just do landing pages on their existing website. Might as well just have a super strong website. If you think about the industry of like pest control, if you look up your most popular pest control, more than likely they're going to have landing pages for every single city near you. They don't have a whole bunch of different websites. It's just one website. It's just easier for clients, customers, for them. You still pay for the marketing, but it's just less confusing. And then ultimately you have a really strong website, and I think that is a better option. Okay. And then number 5, future-proof your business. Reserve domains for potential future expansion, such as new services, product lines, to ensure they're available when needed. So again, like maybe like if you're a town business, like local in a city, you want to expand to the whole state, maybe buy another domain name for that. Do you want to expand nationally? Maybe buy the domain for that. But also just keep in mind, do you want it? Are you going to actually use these things? And is it affordable? Is it worth paying a higher cost for a domain if it's like $5,000, even $500? You just have to think about, is that going to be worth it for you? And ultimately, it's just up to you. And you can always resell it at a later time. Yeah, there's a whole process for that of like putting it up for sale and auction and all that. But it's like it is an asset. So number 6, enhance credibility. Makes your business appear more established and trustworthy, especially for international audiences. Currently, all of my clients, I don't think they care about international audiences. Um, the .com and .co.uk. I don't think that that's a need. So again, think about your business, but I'd personally pass on that one. Number 7, redirect traffic from typos. So that is a thing that can definitely make sense if needed. Um, they use an example of people spelling business wrong by, moving the S over one digit. Is that worth, I don't know, $16 a year? Or can people just kind of learn how to spell? Again, use a QR code, make it easy for people, put the link in different places. Um, But if you do have a really popular brand and it's worth it to you and you always get a common misspell, I could totally see that. Okay, and then the last one is going to be domain resale opportunities. So this is basically what we've been talking about. Domains are real estate in a sense. They can be really valuable. They can go for thousands of dollars. And yeah, can you imagine what Tesla.com is worth? It's probably worth a lot of money. Um, and so you can resell domains later. And sometimes some people do that as their whole career is they will swoop up domain names. I actually had a client that I worked with for 2 years, did SEO on their website. They had a tragedy where their son passed away and they forgot to renew their domain name. And somebody from another country came in and grabbed it, threw up a fake website, and took all of that great SEO that was done. It was a very valuable website that or domain name, unfortunately. So that happened. That was unfortunate. That's another example of, it's a domain that's worth quite a bit. And that's why I also emphasize that SEO is an investment because all the SEO that you do is tied to your domain name and does add a lot of value to it because you do have that uh, ranking visibility aspect to it. So there's definitely some money to be made potentially in domain reselling. So I think this has been a pretty diverse and educational class today. I definitely went into a little bit more than I thought I would. There's a bit more to talk about than I thought there was just with domain names in general. So I hope you learned something. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. I will be hanging out for a little while to answer any questions since we're live. If you want to join me for another episode of Techie Tip Tuesdays, be sure to just register with the link in the description. Love to answer any questions you have, or you can also just put the questions in the YouTube questions, and I'm happy to answer them there or on potentially another episode like I did today for Olga. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again next week for another episode of Techie Tip Tuesdays. All right, bye.